Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, been like 8 weeks, 10 weeks, something like that. I have not made a video in a very long time. I just did not have the drive to make playoff content last season, is what it is. I haven't made content in a while. It's probably going to be a little rusty. Bear with me. If you don't know who I am, my name is Chad. I'm on the Instigators 5 position. I really like playing Disruptor. He's my favorite hero. My second favorite hero varies depending on when I'm playing, what heroes I'm playing, but right now I think my second favorite is Clockwork, my third favorite is Oracle. Both those heroes I think are really fun for me. But yeah, so that's the basic information about me. I've been playing a little bit of techies recently, so if I end up playing 100 games of techies the next month, it's because I'm having a lot of fun playing them and ruining everyone else's day, which is super terrible, but I've been enjoying it. I think that's all you need to know about me. In years past, this is what's going to happen this season. I'll make a video every week, usually around Monday at 6 or 7 Pacific time, so 9 or 10 Eastern time. Then I go to work. I work 9 to 5 Pacific time, so 12 to 8 Eastern time. After the videos on Monday, I'll go to work, and then on Tuesday, I'll usually edit them and post them if everything goes well. That's the game plan. In the videos, I'll go over each game that happened that week, so we will go over draft, and then I'll say which team I think has the edge in the game based off the draft. I'll show 30-second to a minute replay of some team fight I find. This is a good time for me to mention that if something cool happens, like if someone gets a rampage or someone gets a sick, I don't know, skill shot or something, and you want to feature it, please send me timestamps and what game it's in, what heroes I'm looking for, and it'll be wicked easy for me to feature it in the game. Otherwise, if no one sends me any clips that they recommend, then I'm just going to pull from Dota Buff, and I'll just say, oh, this was a big team fight. 8 heroes died. I'm going to show this. It seemed like a bunch of team fight ultis went off, whatever. No one knows the games like you guys who are playing them, so obviously, if you can, let me know, good times. If not, no big deal. It really takes me 2 seconds to find a clip in Dota Buff. It just might not be the best clip for that game. I've missed rampages before. I've missed good team fights. I've missed space races just because I'm only looking at Dota Buff. I'm not watching each individual game each week because I just don't have that kind of time in my life. Last season, I think each game I featured for about 30 seconds in the draft phase. I tried to limit it because we had 22 teams, which was a lot. This season we have 18, which again is a lot. So I'm probably going to keep the drafts to about 30 seconds. Maybe I won't read off the drafts this season to give more analyst time, because I feel like one of my weaknesses last season was I'd read off the drafts and have about 5 seconds to make a decision. So now if I just quickly look at the drafts, I can make a decision and then explain it so it makes a little bit more sense. I mean, normally I'll record this on Monday, and then the Tuesday when I'm editing it, I'll be watching it back to see where I can cut out and make the video a little shorter. And I'll be like, why would I say it? Like, why would I pick this team over that team? Realistically, that makes no sense, but because I make split-second decisions, it's kind of interesting that way, just to figure out which team I think will win based off of a draft in like 5 seconds or less. So it's a little bit interesting. I have a lot of bad takes, but that's part of the fun of making content. So for this specific video, it's the preseason video, so what I will do is I will go through each team, I'll go through each player, get their rank onto my handy dandy sheet. I will post this in the description of the video each week, and then I will put their calculation average. Here I will do a preseason rankings, which means literally nothing except for my biased opinion on who I think will win the season, who I think's in the better spot, who I think will be near the bottom with us, we usually finish pretty last, but we play for fun, and that's what matters to us, at least. But yeah, it'll mean absolutely nothing. Don't read into it. But if you want to use it as fire to inspire you to play better, or take some wins off good teams, please do. I would love to see it. I love being wrong in my predictions. Speaking of, and then after each week, after I go through all the games, I will say whether I was right the last week or wrong the last week on each game, and then I'll make the next week's predictions. I don't know. People seem to like the video, so we won't change them too much. We are going to try to be a little bit more efficient this season. I say that we're already 5 minutes into the intro to the intro video, but you win some, you lose some. So let's jump into the first team right now. Alrighty, first team, we got Fiery Dude. I'm going to call you Zozab, because that's your name. So I'm going to try to switch. I know people go through name changes, and I try to stay on that. So please forgive me if I call you Fiery Dude, Fiery Man. But I'll go with Zozab this season because that's what it seems to be. That's what it is in Discord. That's what it is on AD2L. So we'll go with that. So Midnight Impulse. They got Zozab, Homeless Harry, PH, Milk Boxy, and Net Control. So now what we'll do, done that, we're doing this for every team. So there's an Archon 4, 1, 2, 4, and a C2. 1, 2. Okay, so wow, right on the limit. Midnight Impulse, definitely going to be a good team, for sure. I mean, anytime you're close to this calculation average, you're probably going to be higher than most teams. So off the bat, I can say this team's going to be good. Plus, I know I've known Zozab for a while. I think he's a pretty good player. Played with him a couple times. Drunk, played Nature's Prophet, so I apologize for that. But I had fun. That's what matters. So, already, I can say this team's probably going to be pretty good. We'll see how the season goes. I think it's a new team, so you're always going to have to work out those kinks as opposed to a returning team who already knows each other pretty well. But they could be playing a lot, practicing a lot, which it would be awesome. So Midnight Impulse, probably going to be a high-up team. We'll see with all the other teams, but my biased initial thoughts are they're going to be really good. Big Dingoes. So we got the Dingo boys back. We're just going to call them Dingoes because they have so many team names. Tug Life, Achilles, Pew Pew, Bottom Dweller, and Void Hunter. I think this is mostly, maybe Void Hunter is different. I don't recognize that, but I think it's mostly the same team. C4, C3, G1, L1, A1. C4, C3, G1, L1, A1. So they're going to be -8 comparison-wise. I don't know why I did the parentheses. You got a team right under the cap, half under the cap, and then you got a team 8 under the cap. So I would say Midnight Impulse are probably going to be better, but I know Dingo boys have been around for a while. So I think they've played together. I don't necessarily know. I mean, he could have just changed his name. Let's see. Oh, that's from, I was like, what? Captain Void. I don't think I recognize it. Maybe it's a new player, maybe it's not. I apologize if it's not. Dingo Boys, they're always a pretty decent team. I have a lot of fun playing against them, so you know they're a great team to be in Archon. They're a lot of fun, and I'm thinking they had a pretty decent season last season, so I'm thinking they'll probably do okay this season. Probably middle of the pack, I'd guess. We'll see. Yeah, probably middle of the pack. Okay, the third team we got is the WSS Harpies. So now, if you're new to AD2L, sometimes there are organizations that pop up, WSS being one of them, and they essentially get teams in all the levels, and all the players are in the org. They give each other tips and tricks and whatnot. The Harpies have been around for ever since Archon League has been established. They've played. They've always. I actually think they've made the finals every season since the new iteration of Archon League has been established. Now, this is a completely new roster. They lost in the finals last season to Rats and Bunnies, who I think I saw on this list. Maybe they could be taking a season off, but I thought I saw them. The organization is just made to win games. They try to win championships. This is a team that takes it seriously, I would assume. I know they're going to have resources at their disposal where they can talk to, they can have replay reviews, they can scrim better teams to learn stuff. In my experience, the Harpies playstyle has always been kind of the death ball, but that's been an entirely different team. So we're going to have to see how this goes, but I'm excited to see them field of roster. I know they didn't have one a couple weeks ago. Let's see their rank. 1, 2, 4, C3, A2, G4, C3. Wow, exactly at 0. So this is a team built to win Archon League, like I was saying. Harpies, always a good team. I think they've only ever won Archon League once, and they've been in the finals like 4 straight seasons, so a little bit unfortunate. Actually, no, they didn't make finals, I think 2 seasons ago. Something like that. Anyway, it's a good organization. This is going to be a good team no matter what. Harpies are always good. So I'm excited to see Finley on this team. I like Finley. I've known Finley for, well, I don't know him, but I've played against Finley for a while. I think we played in the All-Star game once. But good. He's good. I don't recognize anyone else on this roster. It looks like Zizko. I'm going to say Psycho. Probably too much, but Zizko and Chen probably played in Contender. We'll see. Anyone you see in Legend usually comes down from Contender. Or I know like Little Burrito, who was on Harpies last season, just ranked up a bunch because he played a lot of Dota. But Harpy's going to be a good team. We will see. As if right on cue, the second organization we're going to see is Grin Swift. I recognize Z Gamer. Holy Shrimp. Oh, I recognize Holy Shrimp, actually. And again, if you guys have played before, I see so many names. I'm sure if we played against each other and we've talked in the pregame lobby, I'll remember you once we play again, but I just see so many names each year that it's hard. Gamer Brain. Oh, I recognize this this logo. I'm pretty sure I remember this stack. I think they were Grin Swift. Can't remember their exact team, but I remember this stack. They're definitely a return stack for the most part. Maybe a couple changes. A3, C2, C2. Okay, so another -8. Wow, so -8 seems to be so far either you're right at the cap or you're right at -8. Grin's a pretty good team. I think last season was a little disappointing for them. I think they had pretty high hopes. I think they were a really good team, and they just hadn't. I think they had a bad patch or something, but this will probably be a good team again. I know they're a little bit lower on the calculation average, but as you'll see, a lot of teams are going to be pretty low, I'd guess. I think our team's like minus double digits, probably. We'll see. But I think this team will be good. We'll see how the season turns out for them, but I think they'll be good. And then almost again on cue, we got Extra. Extra's been around Archon League for a while. Pretty sure it's captained by Dan Rather. Yep, Dan Rather, Shu, Dis Numero Uno, Toaster. Remember, actually, this is the same exact stack as last season, I think, unless I'm just completely mistaken. Extra's going to be a good team. I think they made it decently far last season. A1, A2, A3, I think. I think they made it pretty far in the playoffs. Maybe they lost to Hunt, who I think went on a really good run in the playoffs. So right off the bat, I'm going to just assume these guys are going to be good. -9 doesn't look good on paper, but again, this is a pretty good team. Yeah, as you'll see during the season, usually there's 2 tiers in the Archon League. There's like the people that play really good during the season and are probably going to contend for the finals, and then there's like a subdivision of everyone else. The way the Swiss format works is that you'll play people of similar skill level, so you end up getting very close games. And Extras seem to always either split or come out on top with all those close games in the subdivision. So they're like right on the cusp last season. So we'll see how they did this season, but I'm expecting them to do pretty well. Next, we got another organization. We got Victoria's Secret. Victoria's Secret 6 players, been around for a while. We got Tyro. Actually, this is, I don't know, these 3 I think I played together. Bidoof Worshipper and Reedy, I don't recognize, but they could have just changed their name. Tyro's awesome. I love Tyro. I feel like I talked to Tyro a lot. Great person to be around. I think really enjoyable to play against and with. If you guys, another thing about AD2L is it gives you a lot of opportunities to play with people within your rank. So it's very fun to, you know, if you play against someone and, you know, I don't know, you just talk in the pregame lobby or whatever, it's easy to make friends, at least how I've seen it. I've made so many friends, I consider them friends, in AD2L that like I feel like I always have people I can play with if I want to. Now I don't play a lot of Dota. I usually only play with my 5 stack of friends that I know from real life, but I do branch out a little bit and play, and I feel like Tyro, I don't know if I've ever actually played with Tyro, but I've had so many conversations with them just about the league that I think I definitely vouch for Tyro. So Victoria's Secret, again, they're a great team to play against. They're so much fun, and they usually do pretty okay. C3G1, no, there are 2 L1s, and then Silence was a Archon 3. Okay, so they're technically right at the cap. That being said, I know one of their plays is Guardian, so I assume that the admins just approved them because of that. They're gonna be 1 over the cap, but Victoria's Secret's been around for so long, I don't think it's a big deal either. Bash, they're not trying to smurf you guys. They're not trying to, cheese their way to a win. They're a good team. They're a lot of fun people to be around. They got a really good high calculation score, so I'll probably have them pretty high up in the rankings, preseason rankings. We'll see how they do. But yeah, great team. So this team is called Divine. This team I don't recognize at all. So this is the second new team, I think. I don't really recognize any of the players. Again, I apologize if I do know you and I just don't recognize your name. Punk Monk, I love the name. So right off the bat, I can already tell this is going to be a lower-ish ranked team than some of the others. I'm not saying they're bad, obviously, because these preseason rankings really mean absolutely nothing. They're just making sure you can get into the cap. I think the first season that the Harpies won, for instance, the first iteration of this version, the Harpies they had like they had like a Guardian, they had 2 Crusaders. I think they had like a Archon in total. And it was back when the cap was Archon 5, so you could have 5 Archon 5s and be in the league. And they pretty much stomped everyone. So lower rankings like this, so far it's got the lowest calculation average, means pretty much nothing. We'll see how the team does. I'm probably going to have them lower because this is all I have to go off of. So I'm going to assume that this team would lose to, say, Victoria's Secret 6 player who's won over the cap, but having a returning team, so they're known not to, they're known to show up to games, they're known to be good people. They're not like super, jerks during games. So I'm going to assume they would win that just based off calculation average, so I'd have Victoria's Secret higher, right? That kind of is how I will do preseason rankings. But again, until we actually play games, rankings mean pretty much nothing. We'll see. It's just kind of fun for me to go back to at the end of the season and be like, oh, how close was I? How wrong was I? Stuff like that. So I don't recognize anyone on this team. Probably going to have them low, but that means absolutely nothing. So hopefully they have a really good season. Thoughts of Sloth, another returning team. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was the same. I'm pretty sure it's the same team. I mean, I recognize him, obviously, but I don't really recognize a lot of the other players. I don't think I ever played against Sloth last season, though. But I think I played against them in like a season past. Maybe it was last season. Maybe I should recognize some of these names. I think Sloth's a pretty good team in years past. Can't remember actually where they finished last season. They were either middle of the pack or down. I think maybe they got eliminated. I can't actually remember. Wow, my memory's failing. A4, A5. Okay, so -6, pretty decent. Probably gonna be middle of the pack based off rankings alone. I would assume. Probably around with 16 teams, 18 teams, probably around 10 or 11. We'll see where I actually put them based off everyone else, but not bad. Not a bad ranking at all for Sloth. Okay, so this is interesting. We got bunnies and rats. Maybe this is what I saw. I don't recognize these guys. I mean, Simon was the captain of Rats and Bunnies, but Rats and Bunnies were great. I wonder if bro, I don't even know how to say your name. What the F is this? We're just going to call him Car. And so I wonder if this team has any... I mean, obviously it does have affiliation with Rats and Bunnies. Somehow they either know them in real life or online. For sure. There's no way you just coincidentally name your team the opposite of the team that won last season. Unless you don't know them, you saw they won, making a new team, you're like, let's just name it the opposite of Rats and Bunnies. So actually... definitely possible now that I think about it. So yeah, take back everything I said. Maybe they don't know him. Smitty's uncalibrated, so don't know how this team got approved, I guess. C5, I know they had an L1. C4, A2. No, because I mean, if you have anything higher than a legend, you don't qualify. So I don't actually know how they calibrated or registered for the league. Obviously, the admins probably talked to them, and it's definitely fine. So not a big deal. But until I have a ranking for him, it's gonna be hard to rank them. Probably just gonna cop out and put them at the bottom because they're not finished. And it's my video, but what are you gonna do? Next team, we got Hogged Lamau. Don't recognize this team. Players: Pinata, M, Phantom, Jellybean, Cheese Cube, and Mac. Mac maybe sounds familiar, but I don't really recognize any of the names. Okay, another uncalibrated. So again, I don't know how this team passed. In years past, if this happened, they were put at the top and they weren't scheduled a game until that guy was calibrated, right? Because it's hard to make sure that the team within the guidelines of the league if they're uncalibrated. So again, it's like I'm kind of shocked that this team passed, especially because I don't really recognize this team. So like, like Victoria's Secret, for instance, is a little bit over the cap, but they're a returning team. So it's like if you don't allow them to play, you're penalizing them by making them play contender if it's the same stack. So like, and it's not like Victoria's Secret dominated last season. I don't even know if they were in the final 6. I mean, so it's a little bit different than a new team coming in that I don't recognize, like Hog Lamau, who just don't have a person calibrated. So I'm kind of shocked, but again, I don't know. I'm going to put them at the bottom because they're uncalibrated for me. We'll see what happens. But that's where we're at. All right, well, here's Hunt. This is the team that made a run last season. I don't know how much of the roster is the same. I guess we'll see. It's called Hunt Echoes, which is kind of a play that it's relatively the same roster. Yeah, it looks like the same roster, honestly. At least I know Mad Cookie and Aw Rooster, just because I have actually talked to them. So this is a team that made a really nice run in playoffs last season. I think they were middle of the pack for basically the whole season, and then they hit playoffs and they just kept winning. I think they made it to Final 6 or Final 4, something really good like that. So very impressed with their run last season. If it's the same roster, if it's not, they still have a good base. I think August mid. Cookie, I think, played 4. Yeah, Cookie played all the weird heroes like Sniper. I think they're going to be a good team regardless. I'll probably have them pretty high up because of that run last season, assuming it's a relatively same roster. Samuel Adams, I recognize. Mega Sheeps and Koamaru, I don't recognize as much. Hunt's going to be a good team. I'll probably have them pretty high up. The Red 5. I last played against the Red 5 when we were in Contender. And it looks like relatively, I mean, I know Geo and Slavic were the same roster. I think they actually had to make some changes in order to drop down to Archon, I'd assume. I think probably some people had to take a season off because of real life stuff, so they put this roster together. Again, could be completely wrong. We will see. This team was good when I played in Contender, so I assume they'll be pretty good now. Damn, there are a lot of good teams this season. FOTP was the one team that I thought it was Tim, and then it was Tim's bad at games, and I was like, ah, interesting. FOTP was a team that dropped down last season. They kind of started this wave, I think, where you were playing up because it was better competition, right? But with the way that this Swiss format works, you end up playing against teams relatively in your skill anyway. So even if you drop down to a lower league, you end up playing against similar skill level. A lot of the teams at the bottom Contender could be at the mid to top to Archon because of you end up playing, you know, the bottom and mid to Contender, or if you're an Archon, because you're closer to that Contender, you end up playing the mid to high. So a lot of these teams that were lower ranked in Contender, average-wise, calculation-wise, you end up playing the same teams as if you were, or same team skill level as if you were an Archon. So it kind of makes sense to drop down to Archon anyway. These guys are a half point over the cap. I think it's fine. I recognize Geo. I'm pretty sure Geo is actually an admin in the league, so that definitely helps his credibility that he's not going to be a Smurf team or anything. So this team's definitely going to be good. I'm going to have them up top, close to the top for sure. I mean, we'll see with all the other teams, but we have a lot of good teams already in Archon, which is awesome to see. So the Copium Crab. Again, another team I don't recognize. These are actual names. We'll just say -30. Renoik. Holy moly, these guys have the wildest names ever. This guy was 999. We'll just call him YB. I actually feel like I recognize YB. I don't know why. This guy's something about commends. Let's call him commends. Seems like he gets a lot of commends from players. That would be my guess based off of my limited experience knowing this person for 5 seconds. So this team, again, looks pretty new. I don't think I recognize them so far. Seems to be pretty on course to be C3. I think a lot of times it's pretty good that, you know, this is a mainly Crusader stack. You got an Archon. High Crusader, low Archon. I mean, it's mid Archon, but to pick up a legend like this, I think it makes your team viable. It makes you be competitive. I really like it. If you guys have a friend like that, then I think it's totally great to pick someone up like that. C5, God, I should have remembered this. C3L2. C3L2. Okay, so -3.5. That's pretty good. That's going to be a middle of the pack team based off calculations alone. I know absolutely nothing about this team at all. I think I might recognize YB. I don't know why. Maybe there was like a clan called YB Guild, or I actually might know this person. I have no idea. But yeah, so they'll probably be middle of the pack, maybe lower because of all the good teams I'm seeing. Just that I know. I mean, my rankings are very biased, guys. You know, if you come back each season, I'm going to have a better understanding of your team, obviously, because I play against you. I watch replays, decent amount of just to get like clips for each game. So all of these new teams are going to have a disadvantage on my preseason rankings that mean literally nothing. So that's why I'm always like, don't take it to heart, because I just don't know any of these players. I don't know, you know, it's unreliable whether they're going to be a good stack, whether they're going to fall apart. I don't know. I mean, they could be friends playing together since high school. I don't know. So anyway, that's Copium Crab. On arrival, no, this is Sean's team. Okay, so these guys are awesome. So these guys, if I remember correctly, are from Dota Academy, I think. They played last season. I think they knew Kitty, who used to be on... What is this symbol? What was I saying? I think they're from Dota academy, if I remember correctly. I'm pretty sure that that's what Kitty said. I'm pretty sure that they knew Sean. Sean stood in for us one game last season. He played. I really only remember the lone druid, and he literally just sat in the trees and controlled his lone druid and ratted to the win. So I imagine very terrible to play against. But these are awesome guys. I think Sean even offered to help me with some content this season, so I might call him in for a favor or call him in for some dual content at one point. But overall, the Unrivaled guys are awesome. I mean, this is a team that I think is going to be pretty high up there based off of what I remember from last season, based off of how I know them. Well, no, I really only know Ultralisk. I don't really know them. But usually, I think you can tell a team based off of their, one or two of their personality, because if you play with a player and he's super toxic and he takes everything wicked seriously, chances are his AD2L team probably the same way. If they're not, then it's just like a disconnect and it could lead to some strife. So like, for instance, if you have a team half that just want to have fun, half want to take it really seriously, and they lose every week because the team's just goofing off having fun, well, the two that want to win are going to be pissed off. So I'm going to assume that Unrivaled is a really fun group to play around, play with, play against. I don't think I ever played against them last season. Maybe we did, but I don't remember. But I have played with Ultralisk, and he's a great guy. Bagel, I recognize. This guy's name is crazy. The symbol. I don't really recognize these other two names, but they could have been on Unrivaled last season, and I just can't remember. They're going to be a good team, for sure. We'll see. We'll see how the season plays out, but I'll have them pretty high. Here we go. The second Victoria's Secret team. Fox, I recognize. Common Oddity, I recognize. Nice, dude. Yeah, they were Phenom S last season, or a couple seasons ago. That's I recognize Common Odyssey from that. These guys are awesome. I really like these guys. I like playing with and against them. Well, I don't think I've ever played with them, but I like playing against them because they're super fun. They just make the games fun. I actually cannot remember how they did the one season I think I remember them from. But, I mean, Victoria's Secret is a fun org from what I remember. They're an org that encourages teams to enjoy their time and really just, I recognize Robbie. Ares, I think I recognize. I don't recognize Mr. Hatman, but I think it's great. Like I said, that these like two Guardians, a Crusader, and Archon can pick up a legend like this, because it'll help them, at the very least, it'll help them learn, because you're playing with someone, just that much higher skilled than you. I'm going to assume, because he's a higher rank, he's going to be higher skilled, that you can learn so much about the game. It helps you think with your thought processes. I'm really excited that these guys are coming back. Like I said, these three names I recognize. I actually think I even recognize Ares. They're just a great group. So I'm really excited they're coming back. We'll see how they do. I don't recognize Mr. Hatman, but he's a high rank, so he'll probably help them out a lot. This will probably be, we'll see how I put them in the rankings, but I think they'll be at least middle of the pack. I mean, they got a high calculation average, so can't hold that against them. But I'm excited these guys are in the league. Getting down to the wire here. So this is my team. We are the Instigators. We've been playing together since literally 2015. Nick, Positive Attitude, introduced me to the game. And I used to have wicked bad Wi-Fi, so I would literally just play against bots. And then we'd go over to Mike's house, Mike the Spike, and we would play in his garage, and it was like a little mini LAN, and Elijah was the other one. The four of us, we used to play all the time, and it was so much fun. This is a little, again, I'll go into this. So that we met Kip. We actually played against him, and I guess we were fun to play against or something, but he ended up reaching out to me and, wanted to play some games. And obviously I was like, yeah, absolutely, we can do it. We ended up getting along really well. I really like Kip, obviously. So we have a whole entwined friend group now with us and then all Kip's friends. And there's this guy, Pango Mode, who we play with, who now works nights. So half the weeks he can't play AD2L, so Kip ended up taking his spot. But the thing I need to talk about with our team here is Kip has two accounts. This is his account he doesn't use, but it's higher ranked. His other account, just for reference. So I think we have to use that account for the the calculated average, because technically Kip could be Archon 5 or whatever. Jersey, is there an apostrophe? There it is. Okay, so this is his account he uses now. He's a Crusader 4, but he's winning a lot, so I think he's closer to the Archon 5, obviously. He will end up playing our mid for us. He was a legend, took a year off from Dota, recalibrated all his accounts. Then this was his second account. This is his main account, and then he made this account calibrated higher, so he played on that for a while. Anyway, recalibrated all. The higher account's Archon 5, so he's not smurfing, guys, I promise you. But these are his 2 accounts. If you need to scout his 2 accounts for whatever reason, it's shoulder check with this logo, and it's Jersey Mike's with this logo. This is the account he's going to actively use this season. I should actually try to get it to fix on the website so it goes to this Dota buff, because it'll be hard for people to scout. I'll have to talk to him about changing that. But anyway, he's not a smurf. He's one of our friends. We've been playing literally since 2015. We take some seasons off, but I think our first season AD2L was like season 8 or something. So I don't know. I think we're fun to play with, but that's why I play with them. So let me know if you have any questions. Reach me on Discord. I'll put my Discord in the description as well. Literally, if you ever have any questions about my team, please just message me on Discord. It's the easiest. Okay, we got Prancin' Roosters next. So I don't recognize his team name, but I do recognize Cedar Boy. I don't know why, but I think I'm friends with him on Steam. Looks like they just changed their team name, but they've been around for a while. Definitely, if they're playing in snow cones, they've definitely been around forever. So, okay, so recognize Cedar Boy, but I don't know too much about Prancin' Roosters. I don't think they played recently. Their last was 25. So this was before. This was you know, Dan Rather's team. This was Seth, the admin for the league, or the owner of the league. The Mittenses, who used to be a staple of Archon League, now they're a staple of Crusader League. So yeah, they've been around a decent amount. I'm assuming that this roster's been around. Unfortunately, I only recognize Cedar Boy, so I apologize if I played you guys before. I mean, I have to have played you guys before, but I just don't recognize any of these names because they're probably a returning team, at least a returning stack. Even if they haven't played in a while, you can play, you know, if you're a stack that sticks together for a while, even if you don't play AD2L, you're probably still playing pubs for a decent amount. So while they haven't played in a very long time, I bet this team will have that advantage of being a you know, a stack that knows each other, a stack that can has played with each other for a while, so they probably are pretty comfortable with each other, I'd assume. Their calculation average is going to be a little bit lower, but I'm going to give them a little bit of an edge because I'm assuming they know each other pretty well. Don't know too much else about this team, so I can't really talk too much. I just recognize this name. Don't know why, but yeah, that's it. Okay, the last team I have on here is called the Goon Squad. I know Roxy Roro for sure. It looks like they all changed their names though, so I definitely know this team though. Definitely, at least Roxy's playing on the team. Anyway, I think this team is going to be good. They have 2 legends. Let's do the average real quick. L1, L2, C2, C2, A1, C2, C2, A1. So 1, they're just barely over. Again, it's probably a returning team. That's why I recognize Roxy at least. They have 2 people below the cap, so maybe that was a little bit leaning towards why they could be 1 over the cap. This seems probably to be pretty good. I think Goon Squad will be pretty good. We will see how the season goes. Don't know too much. All I recognize is Roxy, so we'll see. Okay, here's where I will do the rankings. We are all done introing all 18 teams. Let me move my camera over so I'm not blocking any team names. Let's go ahead. Who was it? It was Bunnies and Rats and Hog. We're just going to move them to the bottom because one of their plays is uncalibrated, so I can't get an appropriate calibrated average at this time. So we'll just move them to the bottom. Again, I mean, Rats and Bunnies won last season, so Bunnies and Rats are probably either related or something like that. So I imagine these teams are probably going to be okay, but we'll just move to the bottom. So what I'll do here is I'll rank everyone, and then I will mark where they are, just so each week I'm going to move them up and down. But at the end of the season, I'm going to have a number system of like, oh, each week they were ranked this, each week they're this, week 2 they're ranked this, and so on and so forth. So it's like really easy for you to keep track of where you have been without having to literally have this open every single week, right? We're going to put my team, Instigators, down here. Usually we're not that good. We usually squeak in the playoffs. But actually, I think we're going to be pretty good this season. I think we'll be able to win some games in the regular season, maybe make a little bit of a run in the playoffs. We'll see. But just to be optimistic or pessimistic, I'll put it at the bottom here. Midnight Impulse is a high-ranking team. I'll leave them up there for now. Harpies, again. This organization is bred to win. I'll give them the 1 spot because of their placement last season, even though it's in a completely new roster. I'm just going to put that pressure on them right away. This roster was made to carry on the Harpies name. I know that means a lot to the organization. So I'm going to have them up there. Who else I think will be up there? We'll put Victoria's Secret pretty high up. I mean, they got a high calculation average. So if I'm building solely off that, I'll do the same with Goon Squad. Goon Squad's got a pretty high ranking average. So I'll have them up there. Red 5, oh yeah, Red 5's got to be top 3 for sure. I think Midnight Impulse, Harpies, and Red 5 are my prediction for the top 3 teams this season. We'll see. I just know Zozab, I think he usually fields, or he's a good player. I think sometimes his teams don't live up to what he was hoping for, but I think they will be they'll be good down in Archon for sure. I know Red 5 is going to be good down in Archon. Harpies is an organization that consistently puts out good teams, so I'm expecting them to be good. We'll see with the new roster. I think these teams can flip-flop either way. I'll probably put Red 5 actually above just to give Zozab some extra inspiration to crush my team this week when I have a stand-in. Let's see, who else is high rank I can put up here right off the rip? Goon Squad, Red 5, who is this? Victoria's Secret. Harpies are exactly at 0. And so that's relatively close. The next is For the Memes. Yeah, we'll put them up there. Put them right there. I'll keep it 6 player 4th, Goon Squad 5th. Who's this? Copium Crab. I don't know anything about them. They got pretty decent ranks, so I'll put them up there. Oops, below Memes. I'll put Dingoes there. Like I said, I think the Dingoes are a consistently decent team. Actually, no, we got to put Unrivaled higher up. Unrivaled is a consistently really good team. Hunt, oh, dude, there's so many good teams here. See, I got to move Copium down because I know these 2 teams are going to be good for sure. So I got to move Copium down even though they got a better average. I'll probably put Dingoes there. Oh, Pot of Sloth, what's their rank here? -6, yeah, I'll put Pot of Sloth. Oh, Extra too? Oh my god. All right, I think Extra will be here, then Dingoes, then Grin, Pot of Sloth. I don't know anything about Divine or Prince and Roosters. What's their... Okay, I'm actually gonna, because of the rankings, the calculation average, I'll put them like this. I'll move us up a little bit. But man, this is gonna be a good league this year. I mean, you look at, I think these 3 teams will be the best. I think this to, I'd say here, maybe even Pot of Sloth. This middle of the pack is going to be a bloodbath. I mean, these teams are all really good too. And I think they're a little bit below these 3 teams at the top. But again, one or 2 teams every season surprises me and ends up being up top. Like Rats and Bunnies for me last season ended up winning it all. Man, this is good, dude. This is gonna be a good season. So yeah, this will be the rankings for now. I'll read it off in a second. Okay, so this will be the Chad unofficial preseason rankings. We got Harpies at 1, just out of respect to the org. I think they always field a good team. Like I've said probably countless times in this video. Got Red 5 standing by. They were a good team when I played them in Contender, and now they're in Archon. I mean, Geo, I know is good. I can't remember who else is on Red 5, but yeah, they're going to be good. Midnight Impulse, I trust Zozab. He's going to have a good season for sure, so that team's going to be good. Victoria's Secret, 6 players, putting up a really solid roster. Their average is really high. They've been known to be a good team. Goon Squad's got a solid roster with the average, so I'm putting them up there. So we got 6 player in 4th, Goon Squad in 5th. We got 4 of the Memes in 6th. This roster had a decent average. I recognize the names. I'm excited for them to be in the season. I think they'll be pretty good. Unrivaled, I know is going to be good. They had a really good season last season. We'll put them up there. Hunt had a huge playoff run last season. I'm going to put them a little bit lower than they should be, just because I like the narrative of Hunt the underdogs. I think they're wicked good at keeping it up and getting wins with it, so I'll have them a little bit low, but I'm expecting them to move up throughout the season. Copium Crab, know nothing about. I have them at 9. Extra, solid. Dan Rather's been around forever. He always puts in pretty good rosters. Have them at 10. Dingo Boys, got them at 11. They're going to be a good team. Grin Swift, another org. Again, they're going to be a good team. I mean, this is going to be an insane league. Pot of Sloth, they got at 13, which is crazy. They should be higher, but they got so many good teams here. We got Inscares at 14, Prince of Roosters at 15, Divine at 16. I don't know anything about Prince of Roosters or Divine. I'm just going based solely off of calculated average here. And then Bunnies and Rats and Hog, LMAO, just didn't have completed rosters, so didn't preseason rank them because I don't think it'd be fair to them or anyone they're playing anyone else in the league that I'd move them above or below. So didn't rank them. Hopefully their last players calculate before the season, but they're already approved, so I guess technically they don't have to. Just be like a courtesy calculation. But we'll see after week 1 games. Okay, the last segment I have here, I could zoom in a little bit actually. Just to make it easier to read. We got predictions. Like I said, I do this every week. I don't even know what I base my predictions off of. I just do it. Sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm wrong. The first 2 seasons, I was mainly right. Last season, I was mainly wrong. So I'm kind of due to be mainly wrong again this season. Gonna Caster's Curse a couple teams. We'll see. Jumping in, we got Grin versus Extra. I think this will be a 1-1. We got 2 solid teams here. I think they'll probably be pretty even. 6-player versus Divine. Where did I have Divine? I had Divine down here. I'm probably going to give the edge to 6-player. I think they're a good team, good roster. Nothing against Divine, obviously. I just think 6-player is going to be a good team this season, so I'm excited to see how they do. Hunt versus Pot of Sloth. I'm going to give the edge to Hunt just because they're so hot coming out of playoffs, but I think this could easily be a 1-1 for sure. Or Pot of Sloth taking 2. I don't know if it's the same Hunt roster exactly, so I think it is, but we'll see. I don't know. We'll see. I'm giving the edge to Hunt, but would not be surprised if it was something else. Ford and Memes versus Prince and Rooster. I'm going to give the edge to Ford and Memes. I think they're pretty high up. Prince and Roosters had a low average, and I don't know anything else about them, so I have to go off that. Giving them the edge. Crabs versus Bunnies and Rats. I know nothing about either team. I'm just going to play it safe, say a 1-1. Definitely going to be around here. One team's probably going to 2-0 now that I'm saying that, but I just don't know anything about either team. Because this isn't the same, don't recognize any of the names, so I don't even know if it's the same team. I mean, maybe it is, I'm just wrong. But anyway, Hog, LMAO versus Red 5 standing by, giving the edge to Red 5. I think Red 5 is going to be a really good team this season. I think they're going to be similar to how FOTP came down last season, and they were pretty much the 1 spot all season. I think they ended up coming in 3rd overall. They lost to Rats and Bunnies in the lower bracket finals, and Rats and Bunnies ended up beating the Harpies in the championship. So nothing to be ashamed about. FOTP was a really good team. That's what I'm expecting out of Red 5. So we'll see how they do. I just know, Gio's a great guy. Slavic's a good guy. They're fun to play against. So at the very least, it'll be fun to play against them this season, but I'm expecting a lot. Harpies versus Unrivaled. I'm going to give the edge to Harpies. This is going to be huge. I want to see this Harpies roster now. I think Unrivaled is a really good team, so this is going to be a good test for them to see if they can actually pull out a 2-0. I'm probably a little bit biased towards the Harpies and WSS organization. By probably, I mean definitely, but I just need them to prove it to me. I'm putting a little pressure on them, putting them at the 1 spot. I'm calling them a 2-0 over Unrivaled, who are not a bad team at all. So we'll see. Midnight Impulse versus Gators, definitely giving the edge to Midnight Impulse. I don't think I'm going to be here for this game, like I said. I think I'm flying to Arizona tomorrow. We'll see. My boss could just reject my time off randomly, then I would be here, which would suck, but then I'd play. I wouldn't need to stand it. So anyway, giving the edge to Zozab and Midnight. We got Goon versus Dingoes. Okay, so I think I had Goon high up on the rankings, but I think Dingoes is a pretty good team. I don't think rankings or the calculated average are as important as being a stack. So I'm going to say it's a 1-1 actually. I could easily see either team 2-0 in, but right off the rip, I'll call it 1-1, call it even. So then what I usually do is I forget, I stop recording, I'm editing, then I remember, and I add this in. But this week I remembered. So GOTW means this is the game I think is going to be the best series of the week. I'm going to put this here. So if I have to watch one game this week, I only have time for one game, I'd watch this one. That's my recommendation to everyone. And then SOTW is after I watch the replays, check out the Dota buffs, watch replays. After I pull clips, watch Dota buffs, I'll say, oh, this game was insane. You should watch this series because one of these games was nuts, or both these games are nuts, whatever. So I'm probably going to give it to Grin and Extra. I mean, these are two returning teams, 2 teams I know pretty well. I think Extra played really well last season. Grin was a little bit under where they expected to be. So I'm expecting them to come back with a fire, I hope. And I'm hoping that the series is going to be really good. I'm expecting it to be. I'm hoping it is. Marking it as the the pre-games game of the week, and we'll see after week 1. But yeah, that's going to do it, guys. I don't got too much else to talk about. This is probably going to be a super long video. I only have an hour and a half, 2 hours and a half before I have to go to work. Late day today. So I got to get started editing on this. And then tomorrow I might be flying out to Arizona. So I can't do it tomorrow. So wish me luck. Good luck for all of you guys playing this week. Hopefully I can find a way to play AD2L, but I probably won't. Hopefully I can go to Arizona, watch those games. But anyway, have fun, guys. This is, in my opinion, a league for fun. I don't know anyone going pro out of here, but then again, I've, crazy things have happened. I know AD2L used to cast, and now he's a pro caster, right? I think it was AD2L. Someone used to cast, now they're a pro caster. I know Zyori comes back and casts for us a decent amount for contenders. So, have some fun with it, guys. Try some things out. Maybe get, some new strategies. And then if you are taking it seriously, I hope you guys are successful. And then that is what gets you going. And if you're not taking it seriously, you're just out for fun, I hope you have fun. We'll see. Hopefully everyone has a good season. I'm looking forward to it. I'll talk to you guys next week.